Hi, my name's Gareth, and I wanted to share some stories with you that might encourage you and inspire you. When I was a new Christian, I wanted to put into practice trying to reach out to others, and I noticed on a walk that uh, there was a bunch of young people hanging around a skate park. There was probably about 100 odd people that day, and I just sort of felt in my heart like they looked like sheep without a shepherd. And so I thought maybe we can do some outreach to this people group, and we did. We did some amazing things. We helped reduce antisocial behaviour and graffiti, but we also shared with them the good news, and we had some DJs. Very cool, very fun. But part of it is I wanted to engage the young people, so I learned how to do aggressive inline skating, and so that took me a while. I hurt myself a few times. I even dislocated my elbow one time. Um, but eventually we started those relationships. We got to share the good news with them. And one of the adults that was going down there became a friend of mine. He wasn't a Christian. And we just went on some tours around different skate parks, really started to enjoy it. And myself really enjoyed it. And he was excellent. But one day we was at this skate park, and my car unfortunately got robbed. And the skates I had were worth like 250 quid back then, really decent ones, got nicked. And I was like, oh no, man, that's really bad, you know. So we went over to the local police station and reported it, and the policeman, like, he didn't look like he cared at all. He didn't seem to be that interested. And then when I told him about it, he was like, it's, you know, you're not going to see them again. It's not really worth reporting it. And I just sort of thought, well, I tell you what, why don't you just write it down just in case you happen to catch a criminal? And so he sort of reluctantly, for some reason, took my details down, and I told him what was stolen. And whilst he was doing that, I just felt like it was hopeless. It felt hopeless. So I went outside, and I just prayed to God, and I just said, Lord, I just prayed out of my heart. And I had this something that I've had not that often, which is we've all got faith. We've all got faith in we all have faith in one thing or another. And Christians obviously believe in Jesus, have faith in Jesus. But there's also a gift called the gift of faith, and God just gave me this seed or gift of faith that I would get my skates back within 7 days. And I just kind of it's really hard to describe how that happened, but I just knew in my heart, it was like God speaks to you through your heart, and I knew within 7 days I'd get those skates back. Anyway, so I went back in the police station. I told my friend there that I think I'll see them back again in 7 days, and he and the police officer were kind of not thinking that was going to be very likely at all. Anyway, so I went home, and I think it was on a Saturday. It was on a Saturday, and then on Sunday the phone rang, and I thought, right, this is going to be the police. And I picked up the phone, really excited, and no, it wasn't. I think it was my mum or something. And then Monday came, and I had a phone call, and I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be the police. I had that expectation that the police were going to call and tell me they got the skates. So Tuesday came, same thing. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then by Friday, I was like, is this going to happen? Maybe I was wrong. There was some little bits of doubt, maybe. And then on Saturday, I was expecting this. I was like, this is the last day, God, and the phone rang, and it was the police. And the police said, we've caught someone, and we've got these skates, and we think they're yours. And why don't you come down, look at them? I just remember at the time it was really embarrassing, but I was in front of the living room window, and I jumped in the air, and I spun around, and I was kind of, when after I put the phone down, obviously, and dancing and that sort of thing. And I told the policeman I would come up straight away. And then after that kind of real buzz of excitement that God had done what He said He would do, a little bit of doubt creeped in. I was like, oh, maybe they're not my skates, maybe they're someone else's or something like that. So anyway, I shot down to the police station in the car. Got to the police station. A policeman took me downstairs, and there was some guys standing there, and policemen standing there, and they showed me them, and like, yes, that's my skates. I was so chuffed, and I said to them, have you ever known someone to be sort of robbed and then 7 days later to get them back again? And they're like, no, that's really unlikely. And I said, well, thank God. And then they told me that the guy who did it was in the police cell. I'm not sure why they told me that, but they told me the guy was in the police cell who actually did it. So I had a wooden cross around my neck that I used to wear. And so I took the wooden cross off and I gave it to the police officer. And I said, I'm a Christian, and I want the guy to know that I forgive him for what he's done, and please give this to him. And the police officer pricelessly said, oh, he'll need that where he's going. So you couldn't make this stuff up. And so he must have given it to the guy, and I was so happy. I left that place. I told my friend, I told my other friends about what God had done. I was so blown away by that God told me by a gift of faith. A gift of faith is something that's above and beyond what is normal to happen, and God just seeds that gift of faith in your heart that it's going to happen. And I knew it was going to happen, so I had that amazing expectation all week, even though I had probably elements of doubt, I guess, along the time. But I just believed that God was going to do what he said he was going to do. And on the seventh day, when I thought, oh, this is really cutting it close, God, 8 days wouldn't be the same, would it? And it was on the seventh day. And so I think if you're a Christian and you're listening to this, that's the exciting thing, is we have been promised gifts of the Holy Spirit. I think in 1 Corinthians 12, if I remember rightly, it's got a list of the gifts in there that you can read, and perhaps read the other chapters as well, because they're also amazing. The greatest thing, really go for love. But also these gifts of the Holy Spirit are there to encourage us and to encourage other people, and really witness to the world that God is alive. I don't know if that guy became a Christian. I still hear from him every now and again. But he saw God at work in that situation. So I think the same for you is you can see God at work in your lives. Ask God to give you those spiritual gifts. Obviously, the spiritual gifts are there to build each other up, to encourage each other, to encourage other people, not to discourage or make things difficult. But actually, like, I can tell you this story. It is a massive encouragement for me. I hope it's an encouragement for you. So thank you for listening, and I'll perhaps put a few more stories on from how I've seen God do some amazing things in my life, and I'm so blessed when I think back on these things, and I hope you are too. So God bless you. Have a great day.